Thank you.
I thank His Excellency Mr. Rasmussen for the statement. I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Jean-Noël Barrot, Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs of France.
Monsieur le Président,
Mr. President, 80 years ago, men and women from all continents signed before history a pact for global peace and security. On the 26th of June, 1945, in San Francisco, the United Nations was born. And in the Charter of the United Nations, these potent words were etched. We, the peoples of the United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. 80 years later, in a sinister echo, Russia is violating the most essential principles of this founding text. Since the 24th of February 2022, it has been perpetrating unjustifiable atrocities in Ukraine. Russia is acting in a lawless way. Vladimir Putin is acting in a lawless way. The International Criminal Court in March 2023 issued an arrest warrant against Vladimir Putin for the deportation of Ukrainian children to Russia. Russia was condemned by the General Assembly of the United Nations, a resolution dating March 2022, a resolution dating February 2023, the resolution dating February 2025, and not to mention the resolution dating March 2014. On 9 occasions, the General Assembly denounced the Russian invasion, called for a ceasefire, for the respect of the integrity of Ukraine, and for a just, lasting peace in accordance with the Charter of the United Nations. Despite all of these condemnations, Vladimir Putin has dug in his heels. Brutality, lies, uninhibited violence. Thousands of Russian and Ukrainian lives have been sacrificed. To what end? To realize an imperialist a fantasy to quench imperial thirst? But frankly speaking, it is clear that Russia has failed. President Trump stated today that it is a paper tiger. Less than 1% of Ukrainian territory has been conquered over the past 1,000 days of war. Civilian Russian economy is flailing, asphyxiated by the war economy and by sanctions, which Vladimir Putin continues to expose his own population to. And in order to mask its failure, the Kremlin has redoubled its violent and aggressive stance. To mask the failure, Vladimir Putin has rained fire on cities of Bucha, Irpin, Mariupol, Dnipro, Kharkiv, Odessa, Cherniv, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. These are martyrized cities, heroic cities. Each night, hundreds of drones and missiles target homes, target schools, target hospitals. Russia has in flagrant breach of international humanitarian law has resulted in tremendous civilian casualties. In order to hide these failures, Vladimir Putin has sought to foment conflict with unacceptable incursions in the airspace of Poland, Romania, and Estonia, hybrid attacks, electoral manipulations, digital attacks which target the democracies of Europe. This will not work. Nothing will cause the Ukrainian spirit of resistance to fail. Nothing will weaken our support for Ukraine. And the principles of the Charter in Russia is making a very significant error if it continues to doubt the unity and the resolution of NATO allies, if it continues to pursue its dangerous escalation on the eastern flank of Europe. On 24 February last, Mr. President, the Security Council, through Resolution 2774, which is tabled by the United States and supported by the Russian Federation, for an end to the conflict as soon as possible. This resolution needs to be implemented in full. We want peace. Ukraine wants peace. Ukraine is only asking for one thing, namely respect for its right to itself determine its future, respect for the right of its people themselves, which is set out under the Charter. These are non-negotiable principles, and it is applicable to Kiev and throughout the world. This is the very principle of the existence of our nations, and it is incumbent upon us as members of the Security Council to uphold this. Mr. President, Russia is lawless. Russia is failing. Ukraine wants peace. Ukraine wants freedom. At this table, and it should have full support. Thank you.
His Excellency Mr. Barrot for the statement. I now give the floor to Her Excellency Ms. Yvette Cooper, MP, Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs of the United Kingdom.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to the Secretary-General for his briefing, and thank you to President Zelenskyy and Minister Sibiya. The United Kingdom commends you for your leadership and your determination. Thank you, too, for welcoming me to Kyiv 2 weeks ago, where I saw firsthand